Time is running. Use it for your comeback. Life is not waiting for you. Every second that passes is either bringing you closer to your dreams or further away from them. The clock is ticking, and you can't rewind it. But you can use what's left to rewrite your story. Your past might be full of mistakes, failures, and regrets, but that's not the end of your journey. It's just the setup for your comeback. The question is, are you going to let time slip away? Or are you going to use it to rise stronger than ever before? Time is one of the most precious resources we are given, yet it's the one thing we cannot store, pause, or recover once it's gone. Every tick of the clock is a reminder that your opportunities are not infinite. You don't get to hit the restart button in life, but you do get to start again right now. With the time you still have, your past does not define you. Your failures do not have to be your ending. They can be the fuel for your greatest rise. But to make that happen, you must stop wasting your days in self-pity or fear. You must realize that the only moment you truly control is the one you're in right now. We all have scars. We all have moments where we wish we could go back and do things differently. But life doesn't give us that luxury. It does, however, give us the gift of today. And today is all you need to start your comeback story. The people who make the most out of life are not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who refuse to let failure be the last chapter of their book. And if you're still breathing, your story is not over. Your comeback can be greater than your setback if you decide to take action now. So stop thinking you have plenty of time. You don't. But you have enough time to change your life if you start today. Time is your most valuable asset. Don't waste it when you truly understand the value of time. It changes how you see your life. Time isn't just a ticking clock on the wall. It's your life itself, being spent moment by moment. Every tick is a piece of your existence slipping away, never to return. This is why the most successful, fulfilled, and impactful people in history treated time as their most guarded treasure. They knew that wasting a day wasn't just wasting time. It was wasting life. The problem is, most people live as though they have an endless supply of tomorrows. They push their dreams into the future, telling themselves, I'll start next week, or I'll get serious when I feel ready. But here's the truth. Time doesn't pause for you to get ready. It keeps moving forward, whether you're using it wisely or throwing it away. And one of the greatest tragedies of life is that you can't always see the cost of wasted time until it's too late. Think about it. If someone stole money from your bank account every single day, you take action immediately to protect it. But every day, distractions, procrastination, and mindless habits are stealing from your life account, and many people do nothing to stop it. They scroll for hours on social media, binge watch shows without purpose, or stay stuck in toxic cycles, all while saying they don't have time to work on their goals. It's not that they don't have time. It's that they don't value it enough to use it wisely. And here's the sobering reality. You don't get to know when your time will run out. Nobody does. Some people get 90 years, some only 30, and some far less. The scary part is, you could be at the halfway point of your life right now without even realizing it. If that thought doesn't spark urgency in you, you're not taking life seriously enough. Your comeback depends on you treating time like an investment with a ticking deadline. Every hour you put into self-improvement, skill building, or meaningful work compounds into greater results over time. Every hour you waste compounds into deeper regret. Time is the one currency that doesn't allow refunds. Once it's gone forever. If you want your comeback to be real, you have to stop giving your hours away to things that don't serve your future. Cut the meaningless scrolling. Limit time with people who drain you. Stop replaying the past in your head. These things might make you feel comfortable for a moment, but they're robbing you of the only resource you can't replace. Ask yourself right now, if today was the last full day you were given, would you be proud how you're using it? Would you be at peace knowing you gave it your all? Or would you feel the weight of regret for the hours you wasted? Your future self is watching you from tomorrow, hoping you make the right choices today. Because one day, you won't be able to buy back this moment, no matter how much you want to. So take control now. Guard your time like your life depends on it, because it does. One of the most powerful truths you can ever embrace is that your past does not define you. It only prepares you. Yet too many people live as if their mistakes, failures, or bad decisions have permanently written their destiny. They drag the weight of old regrets like a heavy chain, pulling it through every new opportunity, every relationship, every dream, until they start believing they are stuck forever. But here is the truth. What happened is over, and nothing you do can rewind time. Those moments are gone, but the lessons they left behind are still yours to keep. They can either be tools for your growth or chains that keep you trapped. And the choice is yours. The past is a teacher, not a judge. Every failure carries a lesson about resilience, preparation, patience, or awareness. Every heartbreak teaches you about love, trust, and boundaries. Every loss reveals who stands by you when the world turns dark. The danger is when you confuse your experiences with your identity, when you start believing that because you failed, you are a failure, or because you were hurt, you are permanently broken. Life is not a single exam where one bad answer means you fail forever. It's a continuous classroom where you learn, grow, and evolve. The only true failure is refusing to learn. Regret, in this sense, can be a double-edged sword. It can either trap you in an endless replay of what went wrong or motivate you to change so you never repeat it. Some people camp in regret as if it's their home, staring backwards so long that they lose sight of the present. Regret is useful only when it inspires action. Otherwise, it is poison. If you burned yourself on a hot stove, you would not keep touching it, saying, "I wish I didn't burn myself." You would take the lesson, remember the pain, and avoid the same mistake. The same principle applies to life. Mistakes leave scars, but scars are not symbols of weakness. They are proof of survival, and survival means you can rebuild. The person you used to be when you made those mistakes is not the person you are today. That version of you didn't know everything you know now. You may have wasted years in unhealthy relationships, in dead-end jobs, or in habits that drained you, but the very fact that you can recognize those as mistakes means you've already grown. Growth is a sign you are ready for a different future. The people who truly lose in life are not those who fall, but those who stay down because they believe they are unworthy of getting up. Your past is not your prison. It is your proof that you have lived, learned, and survived. Even the worst chapters can set the stage for the best comebacks. History is filled with people who were written off, but rose again. Mandela, imprisoned for 27 years, emerged to lead a nation. Thomas Edison failed 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. Malcolm X went from crime to becoming a voice of justice. Their past didn't disappear, they became the foundation of their transformation. The difference between staying stuck and moving forward is mindset. You must stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What did this teach me?" Stop saying, "I ruined everything," and start saying, "I learned what not to do next time." This is not about denying your pain. It's about refusing to let that pain control your present. When you reframe your past as a teacher, you take back your power. You become the author of your story again, not just a character living out a tragic script. But there's a trap here. Some people tell their story again and again from a victim's point of view. because it gives them sympathy or validation. While sharing your struggles can be healing, staying in them keeps you from living beyond them. At some point, you must stop seeking agreement that you were wronged and start seeking the strength to rise. The world doesn't stop for your pain. Time moves forward, and if you don't move with it, you'll miss the life that's still available to you. Forgiveness plays a key role here. Forgiving others for what they did and forgiving yourself for what you did. Forgiveness is not saying the hurt was okay. It's saying you will no longer let it control you. Self-forgiveness is even harder because we tend to punish ourselves long after the moment has passed. But you cannot shame yourself into becoming better. You grow by learning, applying, and allowing yourself to be human. Right now, this moment, you can decide your past will no longer dictate your future. You can decide to take the lessons, release the rest, and create something new. Ask yourself, what am I still carrying that serves no purpose? What lessons can I take from it? How can I apply them today? Then take one action. End a toxic cycle, start the project you've been delaying, or write down the life you now want to live. Every comeback begins with the choice to stop letting your past define you. From this moment forward, you are not the person who failed, who was hurt, or who made bad choices. You are the person who learned, who endured, and who is building a better future. Your past may be part of your story, but it is not your whole story. The best chapters are still unwritten, and the pen is in your hands. One of the biggest reasons people never start their comeback is because they're waiting for the perfect moment, as if the universe will one day align the weather, their mood, their finances, their energy, and their circumstances into one magical day when everything feels easy. But that day never comes, not for anyone. Life will never pause and create a flawless opening for you to begin. There will always be something that feels inconvenient. Bills to pay, problems to solve, people to deal with, emotions to manage, doubts to quiet. The idea of a perfect moment is an illusion, and it's an illusion that steals years from people's lives. If you study anyone who achieved something great, you'll see that they didn't start when they were ready. They started while life was still messy, while they were still unsure, while obstacles were still in their way. Waiting for perfection is like waiting for the ocean to become still before you decide to learn how to swim. It's never going to happen. And even if it did, you wouldn't learn how to handle the waves when they inevitably return. The truth is, starting before you're ready is the only way you ever truly become ready. Every skill you've ever developed, every breakthrough you've ever had came from doing something before you felt 100% prepared. You learn by doing, not by waiting. Every day you postpone your dreams for a someday is another day your life remains exactly as it is. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. Think about how many times you've told yourself you'll start a next week, a next month, or a next year. How many times did that future date arrive, only for you to push it further because conditions still weren't perfect? That's the trap. You believe you're being wise by waiting for the right time, but what you're really doing is practicing procrastination in a way that feels reasonable. There will always be an excuse to delay. Not enough money, not enough knowledge, not enough support, not enough confidence. But here's the hard truth. Those things don't magically appear before you start. They appear because you start. You don't become confident first, and then take action. You take action, and through repetition, build confidence. You don't have all the answers first. You begin and find the answers along the way. The path reveals itself step by step, not all at once. Imagine planting a seed and saying, I'll water it when the weather is absolutely perfect. That seed will die long before that day comes. Your dreams are the same. Without action, they wither. And while you wait, time is still moving. Opportunities are passing. Other people are taking the chances you're hesitating on. Every moment spent waiting for someday is a moment you could have been building momentum. Perfection is a myth because life is unpredictable. There will be days you feel tired, overwhelmed, or scared. And yet those are often the very days that test your commitment to your goals. If you can only act when things are ideal, you'll rarely act at all. Your comeback demands that you start now, not when conditions are perfect, but when you decide you've had enough of staying the same. There's a reason people say, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. If you've wasted years waiting, that's in the past. It's gone. The only thing you can control is what you do with the time that remains. And the time that remains is shrinking by the second. Think of the alternative. If you keep waiting, where will you be in another year? In another year. Probably in the same place you are now, except older, more frustrated, and with even less belief in your ability to change. But if you start today, even imperfectly, in a year you could be unrecognizable, stronger, wiser, and closer to your vision. The discomfort of starting now will always be less than the regret of never starting at all. You have to accept that the first step will always feel awkward, the first attempt will always be flawed, and the first results will always be small. That's not a reason to wait. It's proof you're growing. Growth is uncomfortable by design. It stretches you beyond the limits you've been living in. If you wait for comfort before acting, you'll stay stuck in the same patterns forever. Every person who ever made a comeback had to start in the middle of uncertainty. They didn't wait for life to calm down. They acted in the chaos. They didn't wait for fear to disappear. They moved with fear sitting in the passenger seat. They didn't wait for the path to be clear. They started walking and built the road as they went. And because they acted, their circumstances began to change, not the other way around. So stop looking for the right time. There is no right time. There is only right now. You have to start before you feel ready, before the resources are perfect, before the conditions are ideal. You have to use what you have, where you are with the little you know, and trust that the rest will come as you move. The moment you commit, the moment you take that first step, you set something powerful in motion. Momentum. Momentum is your greatest ally in a comeback. Because once you start, even the smallest actions begin to compound. One day of progress turns into a week turns into a month, and before you know it, you've traveled farther than you ever thought possible. And it all began because you stopped waiting for perfection. The clock is ticking, and it doesn't care if you're ready. Your chance to change your life is not in some future fantasy where everything feels easy. It's in the messy, imperfect, unpredictable reality you're living in right now. If you're serious about your comeback, make the decision to begin today, no matter how small the first step. Because the truth is, someday is not a day on the calendar. It's an excuse. And if you keep waiting for it, you'll run out of time before it ever arrives. Let go of the past and start fresh. One of the greatest anchors that hold people back from making a powerful comeback is the weight of their past. Mistakes, regrets, failures, missed opportunities. These can feel like chains that keep you tied to a version of yourself you no longer want to be. The truth is, no matter how much time you spend revisiting old wounds, you cannot change what has already happened. The clock does not rewind. Every second you spend dwelling on yesterday is a second stolen from your potential tomorrow. If you want to truly reclaim your life, you must understand that letting go is not weakness, it is strength. It takes courage to say, I cannot change where I've been, but I can decide where I'm going. Life gives you the gift of new beginnings every single day. And the only thing standing between you and a fresh chapter is your own attachment to the pages already written. The past has a sneaky way of convincing you that it defines you. If you failed before, it whispers, you'll fail again. If you've been hurt, it says, you'll be hurt again. If you've wasted time, it makes you feel as though you have no time left. But this is an illusion. The person you were yesterday does not have to be the person you are today. You are not your mistakes. You are not your bad choices. You are not the version of you that settled, procrastinated, or gave up. You are the person who has survived it all. And that survival means you still have the power to rewrite your story. Letting go of the past doesn't mean pretending it never happened. It means taking the lessons and leaving the pain behind. Every failure you've experienced can teach you something valuable about what doesn't work. Every heartbreak can teach you about your worth. Every setback can teach you resilience. These lessons are your tools for the comeback you're about to make. But you cannot carry the tools and the pain together. One will weigh you down while the other will build you up. Choose to carry only what builds you. The problem is that many people get addicted to reliving the past because it's familiar. Even if it's painful, it's something they know. The future is unknown, and the unknown can be scary. But here's the truth. The unknown is also where all the possibilities live. The past is done. It cannot give you anything new. The future, however, can give you everything you've been praying for. But only if you step toward it with open hands. You cannot receive new blessings if your hands are full of old baggage. Sometimes the reason people hold on to the past is because they secretly believe they don't deserve a fresh start. They feel guilty, ashamed, or unworthy of better. But life isn't about deserving. It's about deciding. The most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to decide that you are worthy of the life you want. Not because you've been perfect, but because you're willing to grow. Every great comeback story starts with a decision. I am not staying where I am. You don't have to erase your past to start fresh. You just have to stop letting it control your present. Think about how nature works. A tree loses its leaves in the autumn. It doesn't cling to the dead leaves, crying over them. It lets them fall, knowing that when the right season comes, new leaves will grow. Your life works the same way. Some things have to fall away. Old habits, toxic relationships, self-doubt, resentment, so that new growth can happen. If you keep holding on to what's dead, you'll miss the beauty of what's alive. Letting go also means forgiving. Not just others, but yourself. You cannot move forward if you are constantly punishing yourself for what you did or didn't do. Self-forgiveness is the fuel for self-growth. When you forgive yourself, you free up energy that can be used to build something better. Holding on to guilt keeps you in the same place. Releasing it gives you the freedom to move. You are allowed to outgrow the person you used to be. You are allowed to move past the mistakes you made when you didn't know better. You are allowed to rebuild yourself. Starting fresh is not about waiting for the perfect moment. That perfect moment will never come. The perfect moment is the one you decide to begin. Even if you're scared, even if you're uncertain, even if you're still healing. You don't need to have it all figured out to take the first step. You just need to be willing to start. Every great journey begins with a single move forward, and the sooner you take that move, the sooner you'll see progress. Your comeback will require focus, and focus cannot exist if your mind is constantly drifting back to what you cannot change. You must redirect your energy toward what you can control. Your habits, your mindset, your actions today. If you wasted 5 years of your life, don't waste another 5 minutes feeling sorry for yourself. Instead, ask, what can I do right now that my future self will thank me for? That one question, asked daily, can completely transform your life. And remember, you're not the only one who's had to start over. Some of the most successful and inspiring people in history have gone through devastating losses before they rose again. They didn't let the past bury them. They used it as fertilizer for their growth. The same power lies in you. Your past can either be the story that keeps you stuck or the testimony that fuels your rise. Which one it becomes is entirely up to you. If you want a fresh start, you have to create it. Don't wait for someone to rescue you. Don't wait for a sign. Don't wait for permission. Life is happening now, and every second is an opportunity to turn the page. The past is already written. The pen is in your hand for the next chapter. What will you write? Will it be another chapter of regret? Or will it be the moment your story changes forever? You have to believe this. The time you have left is more than enough to make a comeback greater than your setback. But you must start by releasing yesterday. The old version of you had its time. Now it's time for the new you to rise. You cannot live in the past and step into your future at the same time. So choose. Choose to let go. Choose to start fresh. Choose to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Because time is running, and the only thing worse than failing in the past is letting the past stop you from succeeding now. Surround yourself with the right people who believe in your comeback. The journey of a comeback is never a solo mission, no matter how strong, determined, or self-reliant you think you are. You can have the clearest vision in your mind, the strongest will in your heart, and the most disciplined plan on paper. But if you are constantly surrounded by people who doubt you, drain you, or discourage you, your progress will feel like walking against a heavy storm. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with people who inspire you, encourage you, and remind you of your potential, even in your lowest moments, your comeback will not just be possible, it will be unstoppable. The people in your life play a powerful role in shaping your mindset, influencing your decisions, and fueling your belief in yourself. If they believe in your comeback, their energy will amplify your own belief until it becomes unshakable. Think about it. Life is already hard enough when you are trying to recover from setbacks, rebuild your confidence, or restart your dreams. Every day, you're battling self-doubt, unexpected challenges, and the temptation to quit. Now imagine adding another layer of weight. People around you who constantly tell you it's too late, it's too hard, or it's impossible. Their words plant seeds of doubt that can slowly grow into full-blown hopelessness if you're not careful. That's why one of the most critical steps in your comeback journey is to be intentional about who you allow into your mental and emotional space. The wrong people will convince you to settle, while the right people will challenge you to rise. The right people in your life during a comeback season aren't just cheerleaders who say nice things to make you feel good. They are truth tellers, motivators, and supporters who see your potential even when your own vision is blurred by pain or fear. They will remind you of who you were before the setback, who you are right now, and who you are capable of becoming. These people don't just clap when you win, they also walk with you when you lose. They are the ones who help you reframe your failures, see lessons in your mistakes, and keep moving forward when it feels like nothing is changing. Surrounding yourself with such people is like putting armor around your spirit. It doesn't mean you won't face battles, but it means you won't face them unprotected. There is also a deep psychological truth here. Human beings naturally mirror the people they spend the most time with. Your mindset, habits, and even your expectations for life are shaped by the environment around you. If you consistently spend time with people who have given up on their dreams, who live in a constant state of complaint and negativity, it's only a matter of time before you start thinking and acting like them. Conversely, if you spend your time around people who are driven, resilient, and optimistic, you will find yourself absorbing their energy, learning from their habits, and holding yourself to higher standards. This is why your inner circle is not just a social choice. It is a strategic decision for your future. Of course, surrounding yourself with the right people doesn't mean you will always feel comfortable. The best people for your comeback are often the ones who challenge you the most. They won't let you make excuses or hide behind fear. They will push you out of your comfort zone because they know your comfort zone is the enemy of your comeback. Sometimes they will give you tough love, and in those moments you might feel irritated or even defensive. But later, you'll realize that those moments of discomfort were the exact sparks that kept you from slipping back into old patterns. When you are in the middle of a comeback, your circle should include a few different types of people. You need encouragers, those who speak life into your dreams and remind you of your worth when you forget it. You need challengers, those who hold you accountable and push you to go further than you think you can. You need examples, people who have overcome their own setbacks and can show you that it's possible. And you need truth tellers, people who will lovingly point out when you're drifting off course. Having this mix in your life creates a powerful support system that fuels your momentum and protects you from the self-sabotage that can happen when you're isolated. Isolation, in fact, is one of the biggest dangers during a comeback. When you try to do everything alone, your mind becomes an echo chamber for fear and doubt. Every little setback feels bigger, every little delay feels like failure, and every small criticism feels like a reason to quit. But when you are surrounded by the right people, you're reminded that one bad day doesn't mean a bad life, that progress can be slow and still meaningful, and that your worth isn't defined by your last mistake. Their perspective becomes a lifeline that keeps you grounded in truth when your emotions try to convince you otherwise. But it's also important to recognize that sometimes the biggest shift you can make for your comeback is not adding more people into your life, but removing the wrong ones. This can be painful, especially if those people are longtime friends, family members, or colleagues. But if someone is constantly draining your energy, mocking your dreams or feeding your insecurities, keeping them close is like trying to heal while drinking poison every day. Protecting your mental space is not selfish, it's necessary. It's not about hating or resenting anyone. It's about loving yourself enough to choose an environment that supports your growth. And let's not forget, your comeback is not just about what you get from others, but also about what you give. The right people in your circle will inspire and support you, but you should also aim to be the kind of person who inspires and supports them. A healthy comeback circle is built on mutual encouragement. You don't just take their energy, you contribute your own. You share your wins so they can celebrate with you. And you share your struggles so they can lift you up. You listen when they need to talk, and you speak life into their situations just as they do for you. This kind of mutual exchange creates bonds that not only help you make your comeback, but also help them make theirs when the time comes when you finally achieve your comeback. And you will. The people who stood by you during the climb will be the ones you remember most. Their faith in you during your weakest moments will make your victory that much sweeter. You'll realize that your comeback wasn't just about proving yourself to the world. It was about building unshakable resilience through the strength of the right relationships. You'll see that the voices around you matter just as much as the voice inside you. And you'll understand why the journey would have been so much harder, maybe even impossible, without them. So as you take your steps forward, ask yourself, who is in my corner? Who challenges me to be better? who lifts me when I fall, who reminds me of my worth, and just as importantly, who makes me doubt myself, who drains my energy, who pushes me back into fear. Be honest with these answers, because your environment will either be the wind at your back or the weight on your shoulders. Time is running, and every moment you spend with the wrong people is time you could have spent growing with the right ones. Choose wisely, because the people you surround yourself with are not just part of your comeback story. They are part of the reason it will succeed or fail.